everyone, and welcome back to our Sunday dinner. Tonight we are making, first we're going to start with our caramelized onion and gorgonzola cheese tart. And we're also going to add some fig spread on it. It's going to be amazing. Then we're going to do mini beef Wellingtons. This is kind of in honor of, this is what we do with my family every single Christmas. So we do beef Wellington, we do these orange rolls, we're going to do some Parmesan asparagus, mini beef Wellingtons, which are basically like a beef tenderloin that comes in a log and you chop it up. Normally you just cook the whole thing together, but I think it'd be cuter to do some small like personalized Wellingtons. It has like a mushroom confit type of thing, or like a tapenade in it that I'm going to show you guys how to make. And I think that's it. We got the orange rolls, beef tenderloin, the tart, and the asparagus. It's gonna be so good. So first I want to tell you guys about this awesome knife that this company called the Chef Club sent us. They're supposed to be super sharp. I haven't cut myself yet, but I know they're really sharp because that's what I decided to use for this huge onion project. So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like and why you should get yourself one of these. I've been talking about getting new knives for a minute now. New knives, new silverware, pots and pans, and now I think I'm gonna have to get all of my knives from the Chef Club. I love that it caters to chefs because at this point, I would consider myself one, as much cooking as I do now. Okay, so we're just going to, we're not gonna dice them, we're just gonna cut them into like thin, long slivers, as thin as you can. Like this. Look how easy that is. I tried with my other knives that I just got, and I just could not get them this thin. Super sharp. Loving this knife. Just have to be so careful because, oh my God. That would be quite a mistake. Okay, look how thin these are. Like, love it. So when these cook down, the reason why you do it thin is because we're just working with a pre-made puff pastry. You don't want it to be too heavy for the crust. You still want all of the crust to like puff up and do its thing. And if you make the onions too thick, then they're gonna weigh it down. It's not gonna be like light and fluffy and airy like we want. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so I have my pot. Oh, my eyes. Y'all, I still cry with onions. Ooh, I heard there's a trick, but I need to Google it again. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, so I have a pot on medium to high. I'm gonna start with 1 stick of butter. Probably gonna end up using more, but we're just gonna start with 1. Oh, Jesus. Bloopers. So we're just gonna melt that. It's okay if it sizzles, it's okay if it gets brown. This whole thing's gonna turn super brown when it's done. So I'm gonna put this whole stick of butter in there, let it do its thing while I wash my hands. Don't always look at me weird. Don't see him look. It's like making me crazy. What's wrong with him? He be hating on me in the kitchen. Okay, he eats all my food. He always goes for thirds. Okay, so let me do some cleaning up. And then to that butter, we are going to add our onions. Now, everyone has a different way of making their caramelized onions. I learned mine from my aunt. You start with the butter, salted. Always use salted butter. I do. I just don't understand the purpose of unsalted butter. It's there for flavor. So I start with the butter. Oh, it's browning beautifully. So I'm going to turn this. Actually, we can keep it on high because I'm about to add those onions. So start with the butter, let them get translucent and wilted fully, and then you start adding things to taste. So with caramelized onions, the whole idea is that they're a little sweet, a little salty. So you want to start with, I start with the sugar first, and then let it cook down a little bit. Be careful that it doesn't burn, because sugar burns pretty quickly. And you can kind of do it little by little. It's what I always say. You can put more in, but you can't take it out. So we're going to start in little increments. And then start seasoning it accordingly. We're not going to add any black pepper. We just want this to be beautifully caramelized. I'm going to use, which one should I use? I'm going to use this one. This one. Oh yeah, look at that. You want every single one to be coated in that butter. Caramelized onions are something that I learned to make when I think, don't quote me, but I think I was like 8 years old. I always saw someone in my family making them. You can use them on so many different things. You can use them in quiche. The tart like we're making, they are beautiful in a French onion soup, on fajitas, what else? Hot dogs. Okay, I have this friend named Nico, best friend since I was in like high school. And he came over to my grandma's house one time and we were making hot dogs. And he's like, what them onion things that you putting on the hot dog? And I was like, wait, it's caramelized onions and blue cheese and mayo. It's so good, you have to try it. Now we're fully grown, and I kid you not, he puts caramelized onions on every single hot dog that he eats because they're so good. They just add a little bit of like heaven to every bite. So good. So to this, I'm gonna add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. So what this is gonna do is we're not using brie, what is it called? Gorgonzola. Our gorgonzola is like a blue cheese. I don't know the exact difference, and I was trying to figure out today. They were right next to each other, and I'm used to both of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think gorgonzola goes on, I don't know, I need to Google it, but there is a difference. So we're using our gorgonzola, that's a little heavy, and it's got like this, I don't want to use the word moldy, so maybe fermented bite to it. And that's gonna be a little heavy with the sugar and the butter. So what the balsamic does is it comes in and it cuts all that, and it gives a little tanginess and tartness to it. How you doing?
What we got going on over here?
What do you think I'm making with these?
Oh, onion fries. Boom. Okay, that wasn't it.
Onion fries?
Girl, I don't know what you be using for onions. Why we got so many onions?
I'm gonna put this all the way up on high because there's so many. We're gonna let those go down. These are caramelized onions because we're making a caramelized onion and gorgonzola tart.
I don't know none of that means.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
you.
But, oh, you got lip gloss on.
A lot of lip gloss.
Yeah, I committed. That's awesome. So we got a caramelized onion, good.
And gorgonzola tart.
Gorgonzola tart. Ooh. Is this apple pie?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not apple pie.
What kind of pie is for?
It's not for pie.
Oh.
It's for the tart and for the beef Wellington.
Oh, this is for the onions? Yummy.
He's the type that has to see it all come together.
Yeah.
I love the balsamic. Smell it. So vinegary, but it's sweet and sappy.
Again, what's
delicious. What does it remind you of, like salads, right?
Yeah, so we got some asparagus going. I can't wait for that. You
Parmesan
know, I like
asparagus.
Parmesan.
Orange glazed rolls. Parmesan is cheese.
Oh, that cheese?
It's not going to be melted on it. It's
Cheese.
going to be flaked on it.
You creative.
It's my take. Be careful, it's really sharp. It's really sharp.
What in the Halloween?
Go
this
get
is
my
nice.
inhaler, I need it.
This is sleep.
I need my
I'm sorry,
inhaler.
this is really nice.
He
All right.
hates getting my inhaler.
Where's
in the
it
middle
at?
of the night, I'm like, babe.
It's in a room?
Babe, I don't know. Let me see it. Actually might be over here.
This is nice, man. This is a nice knife. This look better than all our knives. Why we don't never go?
I know. I said I need the whole set.
Yeah, well, I can see myself. Yeah, we need the whole set. This is really nice.
Yeah.
So what else? What's this? What's this?
Huh.
Right here.
Those are shallots. Remember like baby onions?
Baby onions.
Mm-hmm.
So we got ground onions, we got baby onions, we got some, oh, this right here is supposed to be good garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have one. Garlic clove, man, this stuff right here, man.
Do it, I dare you.
I'm gonna do it later when I'm
Do it right now, I bet you won't.
Who won't?
You won't.
Who won't?
You won't.
What we not gonna do is play me.
You're
Who
not
won't?
going to.
Who won't?
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Careful. I'll do it.
This knife looks sharp.
It is. Oh, that's not how you go.
I just want a little piece, you know what I'm saying?
I can't believe you just cut the garlic like that. Oh, he's gonna fake y'all out.
You eat it.
No,
Alright,
don't do
then.
that. I don't behave in that manner. Did he really just? Let me smell your breath. Are you okay? Baby, you're scaring me.
It's so hot. They say garlic's supposed to cleanse you though. So tonight, I eat all this delicious, healthy food.
Yep.
I'm going to cleanse, man.
You are funny.
Some garlic and some cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get me right. But I'm gonna leave you be. If you need my assistance, you know where to find me. I'll be on the couch watching the game. About to take these whoopers with me, you know what I'm saying? It's pre-game.
Go grab my inhaler for me.
Alright.
Thanks, I think it's in the room.
Alright.
Trust me, trust me. I don't like being alone, thinking of ringing your line. I wish you would come home. I just need to balance my space. I just need to protect my space with you. Okay.
Come look at how freaking beautiful these onions look. Oh my gosh, like this gives me chills. They're so thinly sliced. They're just like floss. Do we see it? It's like floss. That's exactly what you want. And they're starting to brown. And all of that moisture from the butter and the onion juices is cooking them down. And so they're getting translucent. They're sweating out perfectly. So we're gonna let them get a little bit more brown. And you're gonna keep stirring them because it's kind of a thin line between like burning them and sauteing. Like it's so hard to explain the caramelization process. That's why you literally have to stay here almost the entire time until they're finished cooking, because I've done it where I've stepped away and I've come back and it's smoking and they're all stuck to the bottom of the pan. You just kind of got to babysit them for a minute. It's a labor of love, but once they are finished, oh my gosh. I kid you not, I used to keep a bowl of these in the fridge just in case. And I love making them. It makes the whole house smell like onions. Side note, if you hate onions, don't make this dish because it's onion heavy. If you hate French onion soup, don't do it. But it's a great crowd pleaser. It looks like a galette. It's just a little tart that we're gonna cut it up into these cute little squares. Your party guests can just pick them up. It's very impressive. It looks gorgeous. It's a cute little French-inspired pastry. Okay, so come have a look at these. So there's virtually no more liquid. When you start to see the onion bubbling up like that, we're starting the caramelization process. So we're gonna keep tossing these, and we're gonna add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Just a tad, just to add a little tanginess and cut all the heaviness of the flavor. So I'm not gonna measure it out. We'll do like just a little bit. Maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon times 2, because you know how we feel about good luck. Good luck, dollops. And it's also gonna give it some color. So look at the color that it gave it. This is gonna look exactly like the caramelized onions when it's done. They're gonna be super brown. Caramelizing them just transforms the entire vegetable. And it cooks down to be so small. I'm obsessed with onions. But like some of y'all gonna be like, okay girl, chill, it's just onions. I love onions. And salads and sandwiches. There's a sandwich at Panera Bread called the Fontega chicken sandwich. And they slice red onions on the sandwich, but they don't cook them. Everything else is cooked and melted. But that bite of that red onion, man, when I tell you, oh my God. Go get it. But you have to pair it with the French onion soup. It's incredible. It's incredible. And so serious. It's like $28, but it's so good. If any of you have worked or work at Panera Bread, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That one is so, so good. Okay, so these are gonna caramelize really quickly. So I'm gonna start adding a little bit of sugar one by one to help add like a coating to it, and it's just gonna hurry up the caramelization process. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it down. Love this. So with the sugar, I'm gonna add it little by little for a couple reasons. Because you can always add more but not take it out, but also because you don't want it to get goopy. So remember what I said at the beginning about keeping this whole pastry light. So you need to make sure every cup, if you're using a cup or a fourth cup of sugar or anything that you put in there, completely hardens or caramelizes and gets syrupy so it sticks to the onion. Because when you pick it up, you don't want it to be dripping, or else that's going to weigh down your pastry. And then it's going to be soggy at the bottom and ugh. Done it before. Not what we're going for. We're not making a quiche. We're making a tart or galette. Light, fluffy, crispy, airy, flavorful, packed with flavor. Alright, I'm going to walk away for just a second and let those cook down because there's still quite a bit of liquid because we just added that sugar. We'll let those cook down and then we will come back to those.
You know what I want. I want to keep it real. Tell me just how we feel. I don't ask for much, but honesty and good feel. But I know that you want perfection. Cook, clean, good head, that's a blessing. It don't satisfy you, boy, that's depressing. Gonna be on to the next thing, she got what you missing. Oh, no, she don't.
Alright, you guys, come look at our caramelization. Beautiful. So at this point, we're going to add some color with the sugar. So after I add maybe like a couple more dollops of sugar, I'm going to add a pinch of salt and then start taking the onions out like one by one to taste them. So I'm going to add, this is a fourth cup, so I'm just going to go in increments of 1/4 cup. So we'll add a little bit more sugar. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I'm going to add a little bit more, maybe half of that. And to that, we're going to do maybe a couple teaspoons of salt. Just going to eyeball it. So 1 teaspoon in my opinion. 2. Start with 3. And then we'll taste it as we go. So let's stir those back up. Oh my gosh, I love that sizzle. I think I kind of want to experiment, not now, but another time, with adding red wine to these and then maybe cooking a short rib in that mixture. Does that sound good? Does that sound amazing? Yeah, so I would do this up until this point, then add some red wine, maybe some garlic, maybe some shallots, and then add the beef in there and let it stew for like 3 or 4 hours. I think that would be so good. Should we do that next Sunday? Oh my gosh. Okay, see those bubbles? That's the sugar bubbling. It's going to be so good. And all of that syrup is going to cook down and stick to those onions. That's what we want. It's still pretty soupy, but we're going to let it boil a little bit more. Let all that moisture out so those onions really get some girth to them. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. Okay, I'm gonna let this cook down for a second. We're gonna get a puff pastry ready. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You really only need 4, but I like to be on the safe side. And I think I'm gonna start keeping these on hand because there's so many things you can make, especially with the holiday season approaching. So many things you can make with these pre-made puff pastries. I'm gonna rinse my knife off. We're just going to lay our puff pastry out onto an aluminum tin. Still working on the pot and pan set. Comment down below. Text. Let her get the pot. Huh? heard me. Abort. Okay, so we're just going to lay this out, and these have been sitting at room temperature for a little over an hour now. So I'm gonna use 2. Just gonna lay them out like this. Make sure your hands are clean. And then you're gonna edge them like that. Okay, now I'm not really comfortable leaving our onions for this long. So every once in a while, just go back in and stir them. They haven't started to burn yet. They're just now reaching the right type of caramelization. Like you see these, that's the color we want, but all over the onion. So it's gonna take just a little bit longer, but we're gonna get there. And they're all gonna be uniform and caramel coated. Delicious. Okay, back to our puff pastry. So we're gonna unroll another one and lay it out just like we did this one. And the reason you want to stretch it to the edge, is because we're gonna fold these edges over, and that's what's gonna give our puff pastry look. It's going to be awesome. Now a little trick that my grandma taught me when it comes to pie crust. She always makes her own, but she is really stingy with the recipe. Or maybe she's told me a million times and I keep forgetting. It's probably the latter. She told me that you stretch it out to the edge, and if it's not even, see how this overlaps? You're gonna cut it like that. Boom, and this knife is so easy to do that with. Okay, and then you can just use the rest wherever you need it. She will literally patch up and cut and chop her pie crust until they look exactly how she wants them to. Grandma secrets. Okay. And now with this part, I think we're good. All right, so now all we need to do is layer our fig spread over it. Then we're gonna do our caramelized onions and then our gorgonzola. Then we're gonna gently fold over this crust, which I actually, now that I'm seeing this, I don't need this much, because it's gonna puff up. Yeah, I don't wanna make the mistake of it being too doughy. So I don't wanna be too generous with this. Yeah, so once the onions are done, we're gonna start laying our fig spread. That looks so proud of myself. Okay, let's check on these onions. Oh my gosh, we are so getting there. Okay, now it's at the point where I kind of want to take one out and taste it. But I need to like put it on something because these are so freaking hot. And I told you, I've been making caramelized onions for a really, really, really long time. And they always need to stay cool. Because I'm always like, oh, let's try it. But that will burn your mouth so hard. Okay. So I'm just going to try one. Just for flavor, to see if we're where we need to be. You know what, that's it. So if it's too sweet and it doesn't have a balance, then you're going to need to add a little bit more salt and vice versa. You just want them to be harmoniously flavored, if that makes any sense at all. Oh my gosh. If this is good, the flavor, then I'm just going to let these sit for maybe another 5 to 6 minutes and keep tossing them. And then we're done. Side note, you need to let these cool before you put them onto your tart. Just a little bit. Okay, let's see how this onion tastes. I think it needs more salt. But it's so good. Oh my. It just brings me back. I love good food. You cannot eat it. So when I add more salt, it doesn't need that much. It just needs a little bit. I'm just going to sprinkle it in there. And this is really finely ground. So be sure to for good luck. I'm going to toss it and then try another one. It's going to be a constant tasting process until they're perfect. And you do this when they're almost done, so you can just make little finishing touches like that. I think next Sunday I really am gonna do the onion wine braised beef short rib. Is that too much beef though? I think I'm a lot of beef. There's only so many meats you can choose from. I haven't done a fish. Should we do a fish? Like a cedar, what is it called? Like a cedar wood salmon steak, something like that? I don't know. Okay, so let's try one of these again and see where we are. I'm gonna let it cool down. I don't want my mouth to be on fire. Oh my gosh, these are perfect. Okay, let's see what we're working with. That's perfect. Done. Done. So we're just gonna let them cook down a little bit more. See all that moisture that's gone? It looks beautiful. Yeah, these are perfect. I'm gonna let it cook down a little bit more. So now I can start on spreading the fig spread onto our puff pastry. So you're just gonna need, I'm actually gonna use a big spoon. Just gonna need a spoon. And this is Dalmatia figs. You just need like a fig preserve or marmalade or something that's fig heavy. Look for the one with the seeds in them, mainly because the presentation is very important to me. Oh my gosh, and I think this it's just figs and sugar. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Okay, so it's hard, and I'm gonna kind of warm it up in the pot because I don't want it to force me to have to push the puff pastry down, because for the 1000th time you want this to be very fluffy and light and airy. Beautiful. Okay, so you just need a very, very, very thin amount of this. I wish I had an offset spatula. That would be perfect. Oh my gosh. This is like, now that I'm making this is like having a portable cheese plate. Because you get the cheese, then you would do like a preserve, some caramelized onions, and a puff pastry to be like the crackers. Delicious. OMG, you guys. I feel like if you wanted to be different, you could change up the preserve, keep the onions, maybe you could try a brie cheese, or even a, what is that cheese called? Camembert? Like a camembert cheese? If you like that type of cheese. I think gorgonzola and brie, when they're cooked, pretty safe. So good. Okay, I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge because we're gonna leave that open so it can puff up around all of the other ingredients. I'm gonna chop on those onions. I can hear them sizzling. Okay, so this is exactly what you want your onions to look like. Wow. You see how there's these bits of like dark, deep caramel and the kind of crusty outer layer. Exactly what you're looking for. Beautiful. Okay, turn the heat off and let those sit. I'm gonna finish off with this big spread. Preheat your oven while you have time to 450. That's just what it said on the box here for this puff pastry. Love it. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. Okay, that is all that you need. I'm gonna add a little bit right here though. So I want it to all be even. And if you feel like it's gonna be too sweet with the caramelized onions, you can skip the fig spread, but it adds a beautiful touch.
Can we just breathe for a minute? I'm too fucked up, and I'm not in my right mind. Let me just breathe for a minute.
So we plated our caramelized onions. They have cooled down. We gave them a chance to just rest. Now we're going to start assembling our beautiful tart. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a fork and you're gonna stagger the onions in dollops, kind of the same way that you would if you were frosting a cake or a pastry. You just put them, the frosting, well in this case the onions, sporadically, not too close to the edge because remember we have plans for this edge. So I'm just gonna put dollops in there, kind of staggered. And once I'm finished with that, I'm gonna put like 1, 2, 3, yeah. Then we're going to spread them out with the fork. And the reason you do it in dollops, it makes spreading easier. I think I saw it on Instagram, that cake lady, yeah. So we're just gonna spread them out over that delicious fig marmalade. And don't forget about those edges. You do not want to get too close. You kind of want the onions to be everywhere, but is the word scarce? It's scarce. Scarce. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You want some holes, some openings in them. It'll leave room for the gorgonzola to have a moment. You don't just want to pile on your onions, you still kind of want a thin layer. These are going to be so, so good. Now it does take a little time. I'm just going to try and separate them as much as I can. It makes a difference. Every bite should be light and fluffy and airy. Not heavy on the onion, not heavy on the cheese or the spread. You should get a little bit of everything in every bite. Okay, we're getting closer. Okay, that looks amazing. And I'm gonna save these and use these on literally everything. Follow me on Instagram if you guys wanna see what else I can come up with to use these onions for. Okay, I think that looks great. What do you guys think? Beautiful. Okay, I do want to add like a smidgen. It's so weird. I have like weird times where I'm like a perfectionist and other times I don't care. But I'm obviously extremely passionate about these caramelized onions, so I want this to be perfect. Hola. Can you do this for me? I just texted Auntie Emily.
What's up, bro?
Because I can't get this open.
Let me see.
Don't pop your eyeball out.
Oh, that's for sure.
There's some statistic that says it happens. And I do not want to be that percent, so. Okay, so now that we have everything like this, we're gonna take our gorgonzola and crumble it over. I chose, you didn't see that. I chose this one because it's got kind of like big bits, but then it has small bits. Beautiful. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and go just like that. What? Hi, sister. Oh. Welcome to Sunday dinner. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You guys partaking? No? Cool. Okay, so we're just gonna make sure to get it evenly coated. So good. I really want some. Thank you.
Ooh, what is that?
This is our caramelized onion and gorgonzola tart. It's gonna be so, so good. I hope you guys like all these flavors. Because not everyone does.
It already
Okay.
looks delicious.
Some people hate gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola
And
is
blue.
good. I like cheeses.
Amen.
They're bomb.
Amen, sister. Okay. So I think we're good on the cheese. I don't want to go too crazy. But I am going to do a little for good luck. Yeah, I think this is perfect. If you guys could smell this right now, you would just die. Okay. I think that's good. Oh, me and Auntie Emily went to the grocery store one time. They had a tasting. So good. But wait, I think we tried the flavor? Was it mango? That one's peach. Cause I'm a Southern Belle and I love peach flavor. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the thing that I said I was gonna do, like folding it over. I'm gonna start with this side. It just makes me more comfortable to start this way. So all you need to do is do it just like that. Boom. And so on and so forth. Perfect. This is kind of gonna be rustic. We're looking for that like French farmhouse shabby chic look. Like we just woke up and decided to make a galette for fun. Loving this. If you notice, we're kind of keeping that air in here because it's gonna puff up. Like, it's gonna puff, but it's gonna have air in it. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's a moment. Just wait for it. It's gonna look raised and beautiful. Now, if you're an herb fanatic like me, but I decided to chill today, you could add some tarragon to your onions. And that would be so, so good too. Okay, now I'm gonna whip out a little trick of the trade that I learned from my Granny. I'm gonna beat an egg, mix it with a little bit of water, and brush that over the pastry. So, where's my egg? Okay, oops. Just gonna beat an egg. And add a little bit of water. I'm actually not gonna do the water. I'm gonna do the water for something else. Okay, and I need my fork. Just gonna lightly beat it. You wanna break the yolk, but you don't want to overbeat it. Beautiful. Okay, now we're just gonna take a little bit, like a little bit, because this can get really, really eggy, really, 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 really fast. Okay, so we're gonna take this. That's even too much. I don't want it to be dripping. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna take this and lightly brush it over our pastry. Love this. Oh my gosh. What this is gonna do, if you guys don't know or have never done this before, it adds this glossy but cracked look to the pastry itself. Kind of hard to explain. I just Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Brushing your pastries with egg yolk. It's a beautiful trick. Okay, I'm gonna do this last side. Then we're gonna pop it into the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And then we'll see how this goes. I'm so excited. Okay, I think we're good. Boom. Let me add a little bit on this little corner. It's like painting. You want to get this right. Okay. All right, now we're going to pop it into the oven at 450 for 10 to 12 minutes and pray for the best because I put a lot of effort into this freaking tart. All right.
Tell me, if I told you nothing but lies, would you still love me? If I shake an ass at the club on some other guy, if you call me up in the morning, but you heard his voice on the phone, would you still want me if I tried?
Our tart slash galette is ready. Looks amazing. Did you see that crackle from the egg? That's exactly what you want. Pastry starting to bubble up. So we're gonna let this sit and cool, and then we will cut into it when everything is hardened. Doesn't this look amazing? Careful now, those edges. Oh! It's beautiful. I want to take a picture for my Instagram. Okay, now we're gonna move on to our beef tenderloins. So we're gonna generously salt and pepper these, and that's all we're gonna do to this meat because we have a whole thing that we have to do for the inside of the crust, but the outside of the meat, it's an experience. Just wait for it. So where's my salt? I just had it. Oh, here it is. Okay, and my pepper. I'm gonna do the pepper first. I always do the pepper first. I don't know why. Not gonna go too crazy. You just want everything to be generously coated. Woo! I think I want to not invest because it's not a huge investment, but I want to get some freshly ground white peppercorn. It's very hard to find. I think I need to get it on Amazon. Okay. So I'm just gonna do the tops of these and then flip it with my hands. I told y'all the only thing about this salt that I don't like, the way it comes out. It's funky. It's just so weird. Can I like pry this open another way? Come on, HEB. Work with me. Oh. It'll be fine because we're gonna mix it all together. I'm not over seasoning, I swear. Okay. I'm just gonna toss these around in themselves to coat everything evenly. Just gonna rearrange them. My pot, I cleaned my big pot out and it's on the stovetop. I think it's on low. I'm gonna crank it back up to high. I don't just wanna put my pot just sitting there. That's not a pot, that's a pan. That's kind of a pot. I don't just wanna have it sitting there heating up. Okay, so we need to add a little bit more to the bare sides. I need to wash my hands. This, what's it called, Bath and Body Works soap? Smells so good. Apple brown sugar. So good. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. The pepper's good. Okay, that's the easiest way to pour the salt. Got it. Noted. Okay, this should be good. I'm just gonna toss them around a little bit more. Alrighty. This meat is so freaking tender. Paired with that knife that we just got from the Chef's Club. It was so, have you watched those satisfying videos? So satisfying to cut into. Like, wow. Now I all of a sudden have like a newfound passion for cutlery. Okay. So we're good. Now I'm gonna wash my hands again. I just don't want to cross-contaminate. That's gross. I'm gonna crank that heat up to medium-high, and we're gonna sear each side of our beef tenderloin. You're not gonna cook it through. You're just gonna sear it on each side for about 45 seconds to a minute. Get your little handy-dandy tongs. You're gonna be very gentle when you're working with this meat because it can fall apart very easily. Let's crank that. That's high, so we're gonna go in the middle. A little more. Get a little bit of oil out. You can use olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. I think we're gonna use veggie oil. Yeah, we're gonna use veggie oil. Sometimes I'm picky about oils, but we gonna be alright. So I'm gonna wait until the pan gets super hot and then add my oil to it. I saw that on the Food Network. I'm not exactly sure why they do it. Oh, duh, obviously they don't want to burn the oil, so they add the oil to the pan when it's hot. So I think we're about there. Yeah, we're there. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon. Ooh. Okay, just enough to make it sizzle. And you don't need it to get crusty on each side, you just need it to sear. Like just a nice healthy sear. So we're gonna add these one by one. Loving this. Oh my goodness. See how it just falls apart right there? Look at that. That's a great cut. Like so expensive. Okay, we're popping a little bit. Woo. Okay, I don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm gonna add, I might be able to fit all of these in. If I don't though, it's okay. I'm gonna do this one. Then you can go ahead and do this one. I'll leave room for one big one. So, okay. So we're just gonna let those sit and cook for a minute on each side. When you get to those two ends, I've seen this done before, you can pick it up and hold it on that side just for like a couple seconds and let that side get kind of gray if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to focus on the four big sides, like up, down, side to side, but there's two on this side that, okay, that's fine. I'm going to crank that heat up a little bit because we did crowd our pan out just a little bit. So you want that heat to be even. So turn it on high, let it sit, wash my hands again because I feel gross. What are you doing with paper towels? Okay. And after that, we're going to move on to our mushroom confit, or tapenade, or salsa, if you will. It's going to be delicious. We're going to use, oh no, what's happening here? We're going to use shallots, garlic, fresh garlic. I contemplated using the fresh garlic. I was like, is it really that serious? But it is. It makes a world of difference, especially when you're using meats. We're not going to get to marinate the meat, so I really, really want that fresh garlic to push through. So we're going to use our shallots, fresh garlic, thyme, mushrooms, and butter. I do believe that's it. A little bit of salt and pepper, and prosciutto. And let me check on this. It's been about a minute or two. And I'm gonna flip them in order. Yeah, beautiful. See, you don't need this to be brown and crusty. You just need to do a gentle sear. So flip them in the order that you put them down. So it's fair. Lovely though. Oh my gosh. Now we are in here cooking. Comment down below if you guys have made this before. Or if you've made the real version, not the real version, but the big version with the log. I'm making the mini beef Wellingtons because I feel like it'd be cuter for everyone to have their own personal one instead of us cutting into it. So I did let these sit for maybe about a minute 30 because we're not going to cook them for that long in the oven, and I don't like rare meat. It's not my thing. So I don't want it to be too pink on the inside. So I'm going to let them sit for maybe another minute and 30, maybe two, because you're going to like eating the cow fresh, you know, I need to be cooked. So I'm going to go over here and start working on our veggies. So I have this cute little tin, which I realize now is so friggin' small. I need a big pot. We'll use this one. So I'm going to dice our white button mushrooms and put them in here. Move on to the garlic, the shallots, and some fresh thyme. We're just going to throw it in a pot with some garlic, not some garlic, with some butter. And let that cook down. And then I will tell you guys the rest in just a moment. Oh, nice.
Boy, just hand it over. Talking about your love, I can't get enough of it. Kinda wishing I was sober. And I know you're tired of me. How you fuck with me, at least I'm honest. Something you need to get over. Kinda miss the feeling that I get when I'm on my way over. So boy, just hand it up, 'cause you know I need your love. I can't get enough of it.
Alright, so I got Uncle Din to chop up with our new The Chef's Club knife some shallots. So this is a whole, fairly large shallot. I think this is like 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. We have 2 handfuls of white button mushrooms and about 6 to 7 sprigs of thyme, and we just, like, you know how you hold it like that, and then you go, and then you put the rest in there. That's what we did. We didn't chop it. We're just gonna let it run wild and free and be cute. So these are the, oh, that's our oven. Set your oven to 400 if you haven't already. So we have our tenderloins, beautifully cooked. What we're gonna do is take your pastry brush, and we're going to rub this in Dijon mustard. I should probably put this in. It's okay. Well, fine. So we're just gonna rub it generously with Dijon mustard. And this is gonna give it, I'm gonna pour it like that because I do not want to contaminate. It's gonna give it some tang, a little bit of spiciness. It's gonna be delicious. I love mustard in meats, especially like beer mustard. Oh my God, it tastes so, so good. Okay, that's really all you need. You don't need to put it on each side. You can if you want to, but it'll be fine. All right, this looks great. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to incorporate the 2 packs of prosciutto. I know this sounds weird, like pork and beef, but it's actually really good. And this is cured, dried, aged prosciutto. So it's gonna make all the difference. It's not gonna taste porky. It's just so salty. When they cure things, they cure it in salt. So they basically kill the hog, hang it up, put like salt around it, and let it sit there for like years. And I went to Italy and tried a fresh one. Fresh, it's not really fresh. But I did try a fresh slice of prosciutto, and it was amazing. Since then, I haven't tried anything that good because we're not in Italy. This one's really good. So I'm just gonna lay the prosciutto slices like this, and it's gonna be 1 slice per tenderloin. But before I do that, I need to get this cooking. It's gonna take no time because that's going to sit, the confit is gonna sit in the prosciutto, and then we're gonna wrap it. It's gonna be a whole moment. So just take about 4 tablespoons of butter into a hot pan. And then pour everything in there. Get that cooking, sweat it out. It takes no time for mushroom to cook. Oh my God, I wish you guys were here smelling this. So I'm not going to put any salt or pepper in this because we are using salted butter. And that's going to be enough sodium. Plus we generously salted the meat. So we're kind of in the salt department. And we have the puff pastry and the mustard. And we don't really want to get too heavy with the sodium. Okay, look at this. Look at that color. Oh my God. Cooking makes me so emotional. Love this stuff. So you don't need to cook this down per se. You just need to sweat everything out. Shallots take literally no time to get glossy and translucent. So maybe another minute, maybe a minute on high. Just kind of eyeball it. It's really like about being involved, hands-on with the cooking. It's judgment call. So just have a look, and whenever you feel like it's ready, when the shallots are translucent, then you're good to go. We have maybe, I would do probably another 2 minutes. But still continue to stir it. Don't let it burn. You do not want it to burn. We're not caramelizing it. We're just cooking it. Oh my gosh. Can you guys smell that? Oh my gosh. Y'all, shallots versus onions. For some dishes, for most dishes, I'm team onion. For this, oh my God, team shallot. Shallots taste like onions cooked in white wine. Does that make any sense? Like, that's just, it's already, the flavor is already in there. It is so freaking good. Oh my God. I don't know how it smells like this. Okay, I think we're good. We turn that heat off. And then we're gonna transfer this into a little bowl because I want to be like super organized. And I used to put the hot pan on our granite, but I heard that's a huge no-no, so I'm gonna stop doing that. And I'm gonna transfer this into a bowl. And this is cooked perfectly. You don't want it to get mushy. That's when you're doing too much. You still want it to have all of its texture. I would even add some white wine to reinforce that flavor. I'm trying to stick more with tradition and not go too crazy. Okay, this is what your tapenade or your confit should look like. So now you can bust open a package of prosciutto. How do I open this? I need my chef's club. So you're just gonna open your prosciutto and lay it into your pan like this. It's so thin and so good. I don't think I got enough for me to just eat, but y'all, this, wait a minute, what is it? Is it honeydew or, no, cantaloupe. This wrapped in cantaloupe, change your life. Change your perspective, glow up, try it, I swear to God. It's so freaking good. Okay, you see how thin that is? You can see my fingers behind it. That is a good piece of prosciutto. I love the little fatty bit right here. What's up, Dylan? He's always looking at me like, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna lay about, maybe, we'll just keep it simple and do 2 more. And lay 1 more. And then we're gonna spoon our tapenade. You know what? It's not called a tapenade. I'm gonna get you the right word right now. Starts with a D. It's called a do. I have to find it. It's gonna drive me crazy. Just give me a second. Okay, I got it. Mushroom. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. I'm gonna go crazy if I don't find this. Okay, it is called a mushroom doulet. Doulet. D-U-X-E-L-L-E-S. I told you it was something fancy, y'all. It's gonna go crazy if I didn't. You know when you're thinking about something and you can't find it? Or it's like on the tip of your tongue? It's called a mushroom doulet. That's what this is. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyways, so let me get a spoon. We're gonna start ladling our mixture onto this prosciutto. Just a little goes a long way because we're gonna also put it on the top. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for everyone to try this. It's gonna be a whole moment. I don't want it to seep out, so I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. Just like a little bit more than a teaspoon. And you're good. Love the way that this fresh thyme is looking. I like that color. Okay. Now you can start. I'm going to start with the smallest one. You can start putting your prosciutto with the meat. And you basically want to roll it over. You have to work slowly and gently. Boom. That's what you want. Oh my God. Oh. Look at that. Y'all can't tell me y'all know what I'm doing. This is so cute. It looks perfect. And then we're gonna encase this with the pastry. Oh my gosh. You guys are truly missing out. This is the moment. You know how I feel about food. Oh my God. And then good food? Wow. Okay, so same thing here. Beautiful. Just gonna roll it over. Okay. All right, I'm gonna finish the rest of these and I will catch you guys when we are moving on to step 2.
Come over, you said you would. Tonight we ain't got no rules can sign. Wanna make you feel so good. Wanna see you feel so good. make you feel so good. It's gonna take all night.
Okay, so we wrapped each of our tenderloins in the Confit or the Delu, whatever it's called, Jesus, I don't remember what it was called. It starts with a D. And then we put some prosciutto around it. I have a special request from some picky eaters in the house to not put the mushroom on 4 of them. So that's why I didn't put the 4 over here. But for us with an actual taste palette, we're gonna put the mushrooms on it. Huh? What are you thinking? So I'm gonna unroll some puff pastry. And we're just gonna start forming this over the Wellingtons. But, okay, it's hard to explain this, so just watch. Okay. I kinda wanna start on this side, so I can have more just in case. Okay. So you wanna do it like this. You need to allow enough room for this to get covered, for this side to get covered, for that, and for it to come all the way over. So what I usually do is put this one over like that, and then, did I just cut myself? Oh, that thing was sharp. And then cut where the 2 sides meet, a little bit over where the 2 sides meet, just so you can, it's better to have more than need more. Okay, so you're gonna kind of wrap it like a present. That's what it is. Like that. It takes a little bit of time to get it right. And then once you have it like that, for the people that do not mind mushrooms, I'm gonna put some more over top. Just like that. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. And you're just gonna cover it on each side and cut where you need to. Okay, and then fold the rest over. Just like that. Beautiful. And then see where those sides meet? Just cut the excess. Don't want it to be too doughy. Boom. Okay, and now you can start to form it back together. We are gonna not score these, but indent them to give them a cute little look, like little mini presents. Okay, and what you can use to score them is like a spoon. You can do a fork if you want. I'm just gonna make sure these sides are closed because I don't want any of the juices to seep out. I'm gonna keep that stuff all the way in. Beautiful. Keep it in. So, yeah, you don't want to score it. I was wrong. That's not the word. You don't want to score it. Scoring means you cut it, but we have some liquidy items underneath, and so if you score it, it's gonna seep out and bubble out. We don't want that. So you can do something like that if you want to. Just like a cute little, it's really just up to you. And as you cook it, as it cooks, it's not gonna keep that harsh indent there. It's gonna rise up and it'll create just like a nice little wedge. Okay. So that side's done. I'm gonna continue to do the rest because I know you guys don't want to see that boring part. And then I will catch you when it's time to do the asparagus and our orange glazed rolls. Okay, so the Wellingtons are in the oven. We have our 3 big old tins of rolls in the oven. Our asparagus is cooking. Yeah, everything looks good. So now we're gonna work on the glaze for the orange rolls. So I just melted 1 stick of butter. To that, I'm gonna add some vanilla extract. Probably the last of this. Oh, buy my vanilla. Stuff is expensive too. Then we're gonna add a little bit of lemon extract. Just about a cupful will do. It's very strong. Stir that up. And we're gonna add some orange zest. So I'm gonna zest it into another bowl before I put it in here. Okay, wait, I'm right-handed. This is probably gonna be the easiest way to do this. Yeah. So you're just gonna get a cheese grater and zest only the top. Once it starts getting a little pale like that, you don't want that part. The concentrated part is in the peel. You're just gonna go around until you get enough to where when you mix it in the butter, you're still gonna see it, because that's what's really gonna set off the look of these rolls. So it gives it that holiday look. It's gonna be beautiful. I love these. Okay, I think that should be enough, but you know how we do. Add a little bit more for good luck. Yeah, I'm gonna go completely around. Yeah, you don't want to zest it until the white part, because at that point, you're just getting the fiber, you're not getting the flavor. Okay, I think that's good. We can start with that much. Okay, now I'm gonna add this to our mixture. I think it might actually be easier to just pour this in there. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's great color. I'm gonna add some more because I want every spoonful to kind of like have a lot. So maybe a teaspoon more. I think that's good. Yeah. Okay. And to this, we're gonna add some confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar. And I'm not doing measurements at all. It will be okay. Just do it almost in equal parts. And if it's too runny, you can add a little bit more sugar. But this is going to be perfect. So this is how you serve this glaze. Oh my God, look at that color. So when the rolls come out, they're gonna be piping hot. All you do is ladle this or spoon this over the hot rolls, and they're gonna be so good. Kind of want to taste it, but I already know it's gonna taste good, and then if I taste it, I'm not gonna stop. So yeah, just keep mixing it until it's fully incorporated. You can add cream cheese if you want, not what I'm going for here. And then wait until your rolls are done, and we'll spoon it over, and it's gonna melt because of the butter. It's gonna be so, so good. So I'm gonna check on my asparagus, and then come back and finish stirring this. We're just gonna pour this over them generously. Okay, after I do this, I'm gonna toss them gently and just make sure everyone is incorporated. I might even pop this back into the oven at warm just to make sure everything is melted. And when it finally seeps and settles, it's gonna look so good and taste even better. So you just wanna make sure that every roll gets a little bit of the icing. And you can make more if you need to. So to this, I might add a little bit more zest, a little bit more sugar. Yeah, to make sure I can get way underneath there. Oh, that looks so good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make another batch because I know my family. You like excess. Okay, so I'm gonna go make another batch, check on the asparagus, check on the Wellington, And then we should be ready to plate shortly and serve everything. So give me 1 second. Okay, so we have everything out of the oven. This is our asparagus. I ended up seasoning it with salt and pepper, drizzling it with some black truffle oil, and sprinkling it with some finely grated Parmesan and some shaved Parmesan. We have our orange glaze rolls and our beautiful beef Wellingtons, mini beef Wellingtons. I think they came out so cute. What I would have done differently, add some coarse sea salt over top with a sprig of thyme, and that's just because I'm fancy. And also our caramelized onion tart. I am so eager to bite into this. So babe, do you want to set the table?
Yeah, I'll set the table.
Thank you. I'm gonna start plating everything on the table, and then we can dig in. Let's eat.
Oh, we gonna eat?
Yeah.
All right.
Dear God, we want to thank you for all the blessings and love that you bring upon us every day. We ask for you to bless this food that we're all about to receive.
Amen. Amen. I want to try some of these biscuits.
That's why you just tell me what I need to hear. You know I don't like being alone. You know I cannot cope. I wish you would come home. 'Cause I just need to balance my space. I just need to protect my space with you. No, it's hard to admit it. Isn't much I can't do, you ain't in it. Isn't much I can't do, you ain't with me. I know that I can get too attached sometimes, ain't even gonna lie. But what is the point of trying to hide when all that I want is more time?
How do you think it went?
It was good, man. I'm about to go get some more with some seconds. It was delicious, man.
You like the Wellington?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's your first time having that?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Yeah. It was good. It was like layers to it. It was crazy. But yeah, man, it's delicious, man. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad we started this tradition. I hope we keep it going on forever. We got some big things coming, y'all. Make sure y'all keep watching, stay tuned in, and just know that we love y'all so much, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on this video, and hit that post notification bell. We will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all.
It's